Hey everybody, I'm back. Yes, I'm back. It's been about, I don't know, maybe a month, almost a month, and I apologize about that. I just needed time away. I was honestly starting to lose interest in this channel. Yeah, I was starting to lose interest in this channel, and plus, there's personal stuff that's going on kind of right now that I don't want to get into, but I just did I needed to take a break for a while, but I'm back now, so and hopefully for good. I don't know. Maybe something else will happen, but as of right now I'm back and I'm back with another review, another movie review. Yes, finally. So today I'll be reviewing Sound of Metal. Yes, I don't know if you can see that real good. Yeah, Sound of Metal is what I'm reviewing. So this came out last year, 2020, or 2019. I don't know. I mean, it kind of came out in 2019. Like it came out like in like film festivals like in 2019, but it didn't like come out like publicly until 2020. So I'll say 2020 just because that's when people like late 2020 is whenever it came out. Um and it's when most people seen this movie. Um but for some reason according to Letterboxd it says 2019, so whatever. But yeah, okay, 2020 and this was directed by Darius Marder. Um who is a director I'm not familiar with. I think this is like his first film, anyways. He did do I believe he did a documentary, but not counting that, this is his first film. Um, and this film stars Riz Ahmed, Olivia Cook, and Paul Raci. I'm familiar with Riz Ahmed. I keep on to call him Osmond for some reason. Riz Ahmed. I'm familiar with him just from the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal as the main lead. Riz Ahmed was just like a supporting role in it. I don't know who. I'm not familiar with Olivia Cook or Paul Raci, but yeah. But I know who Riz Ahmed is. Sorry. I keep calling him Osmond, but yeah, okay. So yeah, Sound of Metal. Okay, so this was a movie I've been wanting to watch for ever since I first heard of it, since it came out, pretty much. Since I think the first time I heard about it, it was from because it was nominated for Best Picture of of last year, but yeah. It was nominated. It didn't win. It lost to Nomadland, which I'd never seen. Tell you the truth, this is the only movie from last year that I've seen so far. I don't watch newer movies, so this is the only movie, not only from last year, but of this whole decade so far that I've seen. But yeah, I haven't even seen any from this year yet. I know, but I've been wanting to watch this for a while because I heard it was about a drummer, and I love music as much as I love movies. I also love music, and I've said it before. I've had like I had a CD collection video in the past. Go check that out if you haven't already. I'm actually planning on hopefully doing a vinyl collection very soon too, to show more about my taste in music. And this is about a heavy metal drummer, and I kind of like heavy metal a little bit. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say what the plot is about. The story is about this guy who's a heavy metal drummer. His name is Ruben, and he's played by Riz Ahmed, of course. And he's in a heavy metal band. I guess they're heavy metal. They don't really sound like they're heavy metal. They sound like they're more like, I don't know what you would call, maybe like noise punk or something like that. Like they're very noisy and stuff. But anyways, he's in a band with his girlfriend, who's played by Olivia Cook. Like he's the drummer and she's the singer slash guitar player. They're just a two-piece band, and life is going pretty good for him for at first, but then he starts losing his hearing. He's starting to go deaf. Mostly because of performing live, and it and he hates it. Of course, it's bothering him so much because it's like taking away his life. It's even ruining his relationship with his girlfriend as well. So he goes to like a kind of like a rehab, sort of, I guess. I don't know. This place where other deaf people are and stuff. And that's pretty much it, at least of what I can say about the plot without spoiling stuff. And yeah, so yeah, Sound of Metal, that idea sounded kind of interesting to me, so I thought I'd check it out, and I thought it would be a pretty good movie to review first. And I guess it kind of is, but I have to be honest. This is me being honest. This isn't what I call an honest review, because I used to do these reviews. These reviews, they were called honest reviews, where I would talk about a movie that is very well beloved by a lot of people, but I didn't really care for it, or it could be a movie where got a lot of hate, but I happen to enjoy. I've done those before. I'm not going to do those anymore. Like I used to call it, I used to call some of my reviews honest reviews. I also used to call them first time watch reviews and rewatch reviews, And I will still review movies I haven't seen before and movies that I might have seen in the past before and maybe watching it for the first time in a long time. I'll still do that, but I'll just call my reviews movie reviews for now on. But I will be honest, of course, with all of my reviews. So yeah, I have to be honest with this movie. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I know. I thought I would like it. I thought I would, and it kind of disappointed me. Now, do I think this is a bad movie? No, not at all. Not at all. I do have positives about this film, but I also have negatives. I guess I'll go ahead and start with the positives first. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, the performance by Riz Ahmed was great. Of course, he was very good. I liked him in Nightcrawler. Also, he was pretty good in that, but of course, he wasn't the best thing about that movie. Of course, Jake Gyllenhaal was the show stealer. I mean, he was the lead anyways, but he was also very good in that film. But he really nailed it with this one. He was very, very good in this performance, and he was even nominated for Best Actor. He was nominated for Best Actor. He lost to Anthony Hopkins for The Father, but he was nominated, and even Paul Raci was also nominated. Paul Raci played a character. He played one of the guys at the deaf rehab place or whatever. He was also very good. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and unfortunately, Olivia Cook wasn't nominated for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actor. I would probably say Best Supporting Actress, if anything, because she was just barely in the movie. But she was also very good. She was. Again, I'm not really familiar with her. I think she's in a TV show or something. She's kind of well known. I'm just not familiar with her. Let me see for sure, what she was in. Okay, she was in Bates Motel. The show based on Psycho, which I've never seen before. And it says she was also in Ouija and Meet Earl and the Dying Girl, which is a movie that I have on my list. I'll check it out sometime. And also in Ready Player One, which is a movie I've never seen before either. So I haven't seen any of that stuff, so I'm not familiar with her. And Paul Raci, I don't know what I think I heard that this is thing he's known for the most right now. But I don't know. I don't know who they are really, but they were both very good. Yeah, all the performances, but mostly Riz Ahmed was the best part about the movie, or well, performance wise, was the best part. So yeah, I'll give it that. The sound design, of course, which a lot of people love about this film, and it even won Best Sound for the Oscars, which good, it deserved it, and I believe it also won Best Editing, which I thought it was edited okay. I didn't think it was. I thought the editing was all right, but the sound design was very good. Like for most of this movie, it's very quiet, and I mean, there is quite a bit of dialogue. Like I might compare this to A Quiet Place, because the sound design of it being quiet and stuff is very similar to that. Although this has more dialogue than A Quiet Place. There is dialogue in this movie, and a little more than I thought there would be, because I thought there wasn't going to be too much dialogue in it, but there was. There's still some silent scenes in the film, but like there was quite a bit of silent scenes, but there was also at the same time quite a bit of dialogue, and a lot of it though was kind of quiet. Even the dialogue was a little bit quiet, so I had to have subtitles on. But yeah, the sound design, like how quiet it was and stuff, it was very. I liked it. It sounded really good. And one thing I really liked, I will say, which is kind of leaning to my negatives, I do kind of wish that there was a little bit more on the music stuff in this film. But however, there is like 2 scenes where they perform, or I don't know, 2 or 3 scenes where they perform in the movie, him and his girlfriend. Like the very first scene, it has them performing, and I really liked that scene a lot. And honestly, it was my favorite scene in the movie. Yeah, which probably shouldn't have been, but it was. But the reason why I really liked the scene, not because the music was cool and all. I mean, it was. I really liked the song that they were playing and stuff. It was pretty cool, but that scene was loud. It was like really loud. And I liked that idea a lot, that the first scene in the movie is loud, because the rest of the movie is, like most of the movie is really quiet. It's kind of like almost like You're Going Deaf too, because that scene was extremely loud. I had to turn it down quite a bit, because also it was kind of late at night and my brother was already in bed and stuff, so I had to turn it down. But it was really loud. And I liked that idea that it was loud because the rest of the movie was quiet. So that was really cool. I really liked that. And I kind of like I like the scene too, just the way that they sounded and stuff. Like they didn't really sound, like I said, they didn't really sound quite like a heavy metal band. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of the White Stripes. And I'm not just saying that because it's just 2 people. But in a way, kind of like the White Stripes to me. It kind of sounded actually a little bit more like the Dead Weather, which is a band that Jack White from the White Stripes was in. It kind of reminded me a little bit more like them, but like a lot heavier and stuff. Like the drums were really heavy, but I wouldn't say like the style that they played, despite the title being called Sound of Metal. I didn't really see them as a heavy metal band, but that's beside the point, I guess. I'm mostly just saying that as a music fan. Like probably most people watching this movie, especially if they're not like too familiar with heavy metal, they'll probably think that's heavy metal anyways, just because they don't listen to that stuff. Like anything heavy is considered heavy metal, which isn't true. Like you don't call like the Ramones a heavy metal band. They're a punk band, So just an example there. But anyways, so yeah, also the cinematography. The cinematography was also very good. That's another positive. All right, so negatives. Yeah, this movie is very slow, and I not in a good way. I mean, I like some movies that are slow, but not too slow. I mean, okay, was it boring? Not too much. I was paying attention and well, at least trying to, but I have a short attention span anyway, so it was kind of hard to pay attention. But I wasn't really bored too much. There was some scenes that kind of bored me, but then I would kind of be back into it a little bit. But yeah, this movie's very slow, and I could definitely see some people saying that this is a boring movie because it's not like I said. This movie's not. Well, I don't know if I actually said it, but I'll say it now. Um, like this movie, even though it's about a heavy metal drummer or whatever, this movie isn't about the music. It's just about the person, which I don't have a problem with that at all. I like that idea. A movie that I kind of compare this to a little bit is The Wrestler, and not just because it's about someone, like they start like not doing what they're good at and stuff, and then it's not because of that, but like the way this is made and even written wise, it kind of reminds me of The Wrestler. Just I don't know, somehow it does for some reason. If you've seen The Wrestler, you might know what I'm talking about. But even the way this movie was paced and stuff, like The Wrestler was a very slow film too. I do like The Wrestler. That is a very good movie. But I don't know. It felt very similar to The Wrestler, and even the ending kind of reminded me of The Wrestler, even though it's a different ending, but still. And I won't talk about the ending. Well, I'll say that the end. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about the ending, but I won't spoil. I'll just say this: the ending, I wasn't a fan of, and I get it though. I get it. It does make sense to me. But I don't know. I just didn't like it. I felt like, kind of like The Wrestler. It didn't really explain too much. It just happened, I guess. And I felt like it shouldn't have been the ending. There should have been something else afterwards. But some movies do that, and I don't really like that idea. That some movies it kind of feels like they just end the movie without giving oh man, I'm digging a hole here. They just end the movie without fuck, I can't say that word, but without explaining what happens or whatever. It's kind of the ending that I guess you kind of have to figure out on your own. And I do like some of that stuff, like David Lynch does that kind of stuff a lot, and I love David Lynch, but I don't know, just the way they did this, wasn't a fan of. Yeah, the third act of this film, I wasn't a fan of. Okay, I'll talk about each act. The first act, I liked a lot. I really enjoyed the first act. Even with him start to lose his hearing, and stuff like that. That was I did enjoy that, and I thought that this probably would be a very good movie, and that I would enjoy it. And the second act was okay. Second act wasn't too bad, but it wasn't as good as the first act, in my opinion, and it was starting to go really slow. And then the third act, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. At least to me. Okay, I didn't even talk about the story. I think the story is very good, but I don't know. It just, even the ending, on paper, it sounds okay, but it just didn't translate well for me in a film. So, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the third act, and I didn't really care for the ending, and it was just very slow in a way. Whenever I first saw The Wrestler, I didn't like it because it was very slow, but then it grew on me over time. So I do think maybe this movie might grow on me over time, and maybe I'll like it a second time I watch it. maybe. Like, I will probably watch it again. I see my not anytime soon, but I can see myself watching it sometime in the future. Maybe a year or two. But in a year or two, I might watch this again. But and maybe I'll change my mind. Hopefully, but as of right now, I'm not a big fan of it. I do think it's very good, but I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. But it's not terrible. It's not even a bad movie at all. Like, it is a good movie. It's just not my. I'm just not into it. And I love dramas. Don't get me wrong, but wasn't a fan. Had some good moments in it, but also some moments I didn't care about. So yeah. So since we're already at the 20-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and give it its grade. I'm giving Sound of Metal a C plus, which is the highest grade I can give like a mediocre, I guess you can call, type film. That was like the highest grade I ever gave like those fuck, what are they called? Like I said it earlier, the honest reviews that I did. That was the highest. Well, on the movies that were very well beloved films, I gave those C plus. Now the other side, where they were a bad movie but I enjoy, of course I would give them a higher grade. Which I think the only movie I ever did that to was Snakes on a Plane. I gave that like a B minus maybe. And yeah. I guess I kind of like Snakes on a Plane a little bit better than Sound of Metal, but it's just my honest opinion. I'm just not the biggest fan of this movie, at least at the moment. If I ever go back to it, maybe I'll change my mind. But as of right now, I give Sound of Metal a C plus, and that's, I think, the best grade to give it at the moment. Almost a B, but it's a C plus. So Sound of Metal gets a C plus. So yeah. All right. Well, there's my review for Sound of Metal. So trying to think of what to say in the comments. Well, in the comments, of course, tell me, have you seen Sound of Metal? Have you not? Also, I don't know. Is there any other Riz Ahmed movie that you like besides Nightcrawler? Like, if you have a recommendation for a Riz Ahmed movie, put that down in the comments. Now, I do think this is probably the most popular thing he's known for right now. I think most people will say this is his best performance. But other than this and Nightcrawler, is there any other Riz Ahmed movie that if you enjoy, even if he's just a small part in it, I would recommend that. Give me a recommendation of that down in the comments. I would really appreciate that. And I guess, what's your favorite movie from last year, from 2020? Put that down in the comments as well. Plus, if you think I should watch it, let me know, and maybe I will. I would like to watch some movies and review them too for the channel that came out last year and even this year too. It's just that I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in newer movies. The only movie I'm looking forward for this year is Wes Anderson's new film, The French Dispatch. But other than that, like, I don't know. There's a lot of those. Like, don't recommend me any those Marvel movies or whatever. I don't have any interest in those. But like any like independent films, especially. Give me a recommendation to those that came out like either last year or this year. I would appreciate that. So yeah. So all right. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. I think I might do a top 5 list or top 5 or top 10 list sometime soon. And I'll see you then. And I'll do a review sometime soon as well. But first, a top 5 or top 10 list. But anyways, I'll see you then. Okay. Peace.